Welcome back to my drug pronunciation series. We're on the letter K today. There are not a lot of generic drug names that start with or include the letter K, but our drug name today is ketamine. Welcome to the Pharmacist Voice podcast, episode 322. I am your host, Ohio pharmacist Kim Newlove. The show notes are on thepharmacistvoice.com. We don't cover pharmacology in this series, it's just drug names. All right, let's get started with some background. According to the United States Adopted Names Council, also known as the USAN Council, the letter K should be avoided in naming generic drugs. Some languages struggle with the letter K. Therefore, K should be avoided when naming generic drugs. Actually, according to the USAN Council, 4 letters should be avoided when naming generic drugs. Did you know this? Do you know which ones they are? They are H, J, K, and W. I'm guessing that this naming rule applies to brand name drugs as well, but the United States Adopted Names Council handles the non proprietary or generic drug names, so I guess they don't influence the brand name drugs. But I'm just saying, people who name brand name drugs seem to abide by this as well. There seem not to be very many drug names that start with or include the letters H, J, K, or W. Now, with those forbidden letters in mind, let's have some fun. Has anyone ever told you not to do something and then it makes you want to do it even more? Yeah? Well, there's probably at least one person listening to this right now who's trying to come up with a drug name in their head that includes all 4 of those letters that you are not supposed to use. Well, I'm way ahead of you. And what I came up with was Jockerol. That's right, Jawkherol, Jockerol. It sounds like a treatment for TMJ, doesn't it? Oh my gosh. Anyways, Jockerol combines all 4 forbidden letters into one drug name just for fun. Thanks for going on that ride with me. Now, let's talk about ketamine. Ketamine came to market back in the 1960s when the no letter K rule wasn't in place yet. So, since ketamine's a fairly common drug and I have this international audience who needs to learn drug names, regardless of the current naming rules, we're going over the pronunciation of ketamine today. I will divide ketamine into syllables. I'll tell you which syllable to emphasize, and I'll share my source. Written pronunciations are very helpful, so check the show notes for the written pronunciation. Once you have listened to the entire episode, practice saying ketamine. Repetition is the key to mastery. Ketamine has 3 syllables. Ke, like a keg of beer, ta, like tug, as in tug of war, and mean, as in bullies are mean. Put all that together and you get ketamine. Emphasize that first syllable, ke. Listen to the emphasis when I say it again. Ketamine. Ketamine. My sources include my years of experience as a pharmacist and Google. Since ketamine is a generic drug name, I usually go with the USP Dictionary online. That's my favorite resource for generic drug name pronunciations. I also really like Medline Plus. But the problem is, Medline Plus, I couldn't find the pronunciation, and the USP Dictionary online had the drug name divided into syllables in a way that I did not agree with. They have it in the USP Dictionary as ketamine, like ket as in kettle, instead of ke, like a keg of beer. I just straight up disagreed with how they had it divided into syllables. Therefore, I went with Google's pronunciation. Because after, oh boy, don't do math live in a podcast episode, after almost 60 to 70 years of pronouncing it the way that we do, it's more like ketamine instead of ketamine. Just saying. I know I mentioned Google as a resource for this drug name pronunciation, but I also found it in Merriam Webster's online dictionary. It is correctly divided into syllables, and there is a button that you push, and it will say it correctly for you. I've got a link to Merriam Webster's online dictionary in the show notes on thepharmacistvoice.com. I will not give you the Google website, y'all know that. When I looked at the USP Dictionary Online's pronunciation, the written pronunciation, ketamine, I was thinking to myself, well, how else do people say it incorrectly? So I went over to YouTube and I downloaded 3 pronunciations, and I will share them with you in just a moment. I just want to say first, as I set up this clip, that I am not trying to shame anyone or make money off this episode. I am just trying to share with you how YouTube videos sometimes get it wrong. A lot of people like to go to YouTube and listen to all the different pronunciations and then guess at which one is right. I'm here to tell you today it is ketamine. Some of the YouTube channels that I took these clips from have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I find it mind-boggling that people who don't know how to use the letter K because their mother language is not English are also learning to put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. Oh, it's kind of frustrating because I love drug names and I love saying them right. I like to help people say drug names correctly so they feel less frustrated saying them. I like to help people so they don't have to go to YouTube, download 5 different pronunciations, and guess at the right one. You can count on the information today being the correct information. I am combating misinformation and cutting the learning curve for those who need to learn. All right, roll the clips.
Ketamine. Ketamine.
Ketamine. Ketamine.
Ketamine. Ketamine.
What'd you think? 3 wrong pronunciations. So they mispronounced part of the word, or they put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. Or, as my friend Bill likes to say, they put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. It's so true. That's what they did. So you heard ketamine, ketamine, and ketamine. Those are all mispronunciations. Use what you learned today and say ketamine instead. Again, that's ke, like a keg of beer, tu, like you tug on something, like a tug of war rope, and mean, as in bullies are mean. Put that all together, it is ketamine. Let's review. I divided ketamine into syllables, told you which syllable to emphasize, and I shared my sources. The written pronunciation is always helpful. You'll find that in the show notes. And now it's up to you to practice saying it the right way, especially if you're new to the English language. You can do this, just practice. And if you need pronunciation coaching, go ahead and reach out to me through my website, which is thepharmacistvoice.com. Hit the contact tab, leave me a message. I am available by the half hour or the full hour. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you for joining me for the 51st episode in my drug pronunciation series. To find the show notes, go to thepharmacistvoice.com, click the podcast tab, and then find episode 322. In the show notes, you will find the written pronunciation for ketamine, a link to the United States Adopted Names Council naming guidelines, a link to Merriam-Webster's online dictionary, links to the other 50 episodes in this drug pronunciation series, my social media links, and more. There are always a ton of links in my show notes. Go ahead and check those out on my website. If you are looking for a medical narrator for your voiceover project, or if you need some drug pronunciation coaching, I can help. Go to thepharmacistvoice.com, hit the contact tab, and leave me a message. Tell me about your project or what kind of coaching you need. Do you need somebody to look up drug names for an audiobook you're narrating? Let me know about your project. I'm happy to help. If you know somebody who would like to learn how to say ketamine, go ahead and share this episode with them. And if you like this podcast, come on back. I've got lots more coming up in 2025. Subscribe to or follow the Pharmacist's Voice podcast on your favorite podcast player and YouTube to get each new episode right when it comes out. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll talk to you next week.